Did you know that every time you use your smartphone, tech giants like Google, Facebook, and countless app developers are actively tracking and monitoring you without your knowledge? Imagine not just these companies, but also governments, organized crime gangs, and hackers following you everywhere you go, knowing every store you visit, every restaurant you dine in, and every friend's house you stop by. That's exactly what's happening, and the scariest part is, you don't even realize it. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects every single one of us, geotracking. Your phone, your apps, even your car are tracking your every move, and this data is being collected and stored. But what happens next? How is this data being used, and more importantly, how can it be used against you? Stay tuned as we uncover the dark side of geotracking and how your location data is at risk of being exploited. So, what's the big deal about geotracking? Every day, companies are collecting, storing, and potentially misusing your location data without your explicit consent. According to a study by the New York Times, over 75 companies receive anonymous, precise location data from apps whose users enable location services. These companies use this data to map movements and monetize it by selling it to advertisers, law enforcement, and even bounty hunters. The scariest part? Most of this happens without you even knowing. But let's put some numbers on this. A study by Carnegie Mellon University found that on average, Android apps make 700 location requests per user each day. To put that in perspective, that's like someone checking your location more than 150 times every hour, or roughly every 24 seconds. Imagine someone tapping you on the shoulder every 24 seconds to ask where you are. It's a staggering invasion of your privacy, constantly interrupting your sense of security and anonymity. And this isn't just about seeing ads that are eerily relevant. This data can be used for much more sinister purposes. The dark underbelly of geotracking. Now let's break down how geotracking works. Your smartphone uses a combination of GPS, Wi-Fi, and cell tower signals to pinpoint your location. Apps on your phone can access this data through permissions you often unknowingly grant. For instance, a seemingly innocent weather app can log your location every few minutes, even when you're not using it. But it doesn't stop there. Companies like Google and Facebook have built massive profiles on users, tracking their every move to serve more targeted ads. This data can show where you live, where you work, and even places you visit regularly. It creates a detailed map of your daily life. This profile knows more about you than probably your closest friends or family. The implications. This constant surveillance means that your private life is never really private. Imagine if this data falls into the wrong hands: stalkers, cybercriminals, or even oppressive governments. For example, the New York Times investigation revealed that location data was used to track the movements of a military officer, and it didn't take much to identify who he was. The chilling reality of geotracking. Let's get into some real-life examples. In 2018, the app Strava, which tracks physical activity, published a heat map of user activity that inadvertently revealed the locations of secret US military bases. Soldiers running on these bases had their routes exposed, posing a significant security risk, leaving these soldiers exposed. In another case, bounty hunters were found to be purchasing location data from phone companies, enabling them to track and locate individuals without any oversight or legal process. This data was sold for as little as $300. Now imagine this. You're a young professional living in a bustling city. You have a fitness app on your phone to track your morning runs. One day you start noticing someone familiar in places you frequent. At first, you brush it off as a coincidence, but then it happens again and again. You're at your favorite coffee shop, and there they are. You're at the gym, and there they are again. One evening as you head home, you notice the same person lingering near your apartment building. Panic sets in. What you don't realize is that your fitness app has been logging your every move, and this data has been accessed by a stalker using easily purchasable geolocation information. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. In 2016, a woman named Emily from New York City was stalked by her ex-boyfriend who used location data from her smartphone to follow her every move. He managed to access her location through a fitness tracking app she had installed, which logged her running routes and daily activities. Emily noticed him showing up at her regular spots: her favorite cafe, the gym, even her workplace. The stalker's motives were rooted in obsession and control. Despite their relationship ending, he wanted to keep tabs on Emily, ensuring she couldn't move on without his knowledge. The situation escalated to the point where Emily felt constantly watched and unsafe. One evening, he confronted her near her apartment, leading to a terrifying encounter where he threatened her. making it clear that he knew her every move. This wasn't just creepy either. Emily was in danger as the stalker's behavior became increasingly erratic and menacing. It was only after this confrontation that Emily realized the extent of his surveillance. She contacted the police and the case was investigated. It was revealed that he had been using her geolocation data without her consent, which was illegal under privacy laws. The ex-boyfriend was arrested and charged with stalking and illegal use of her geolocation data. Another case occurred in 2018 involving a company named Securus Technologies. Securus, which provides phone services to prisons, was found to be selling real-time location data of cell phone users to law enforcement and other private entities without proper authorization. This scandal came to light when a Missouri sheriff was caught using the service to track people, including a judge, without a court order, showing that it's not only unstable ex-partners abusing this data, but even law enforcement. The revelation raised serious questions about privacy and the potential for abuse. These examples highlight just how vulnerable we are. Your data, which you might think is harmless, can be weaponized against you in ways you never imagined. GeoTracking is a powerful tool, but in the wrong hands, it can lead to serious privacy violations and security risks. We've seen how companies collect and misuse your data without your consent, and the real-world consequences can be dire. It's crucial to be aware of the permissions you grant to apps and to take steps to protect your privacy. Remember, in today's data-driven world, your digital footprint matters more than ever. To secure yourself and family against this threat, start by regularly reviewing the permissions granted to your apps and disable location services for apps that don't need it. Use a virtual private network, VPN, to mask your location, and consider turning off your phone's GPS when it's not needed. Always keep your software updated to protect against vulnerabilities and consider using privacy-focused apps and services. Being proactive about your digital privacy can make a big difference. How do you feel about being tracked? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening content on digital privacy and security. Stay safe and see you next time.